Yo, what up everybody? It's your boy here, MC, and welcome back to Swahili Nation, Swahili to the world. Guys, I'm coming back today to react on Professor Lumumba's speech that he did a couple days ago in the office of the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, with a lot of government workers that were there. And he gave such an amazing speech of almost 1 hour. I listened to it a lot, guys, a lot. And I believe a lot of you guys have listened to that speech a lot as well. And I'm not going to be able to cover every single thing that he was talking about. But basically, if you haven't watched it, I would suggest you to go and to watch it after watching this video. But I'll give you a little bit of summary of what he spoke. Right? He spoke about the history of Pan Africanism before, and the strength and the weakness, what happened before. He spoke about the Pan Africanism right now, how it's going, and things that we need to consider and things that we need to work on. And he spoke about the future of Pan Africanism, where, like, after 20 years later, 10 years or 5 years from now, spoke about that and things that they're kind of like a sign of what is about to happen or what is going to happen. He spoke a lot of things, so many details. And it's crazy how Professor Lumumba, he can talk about all these things just from his head. I mean, he was not looking anywhere. For more than 1 hour, almost 1 hour, he was just talking and sharing from his head. That's amazing right there. That just shows that this guy, he's not just speaking something that he knows about, but he's talking something that is in his heart. Like, he's part of it. He has been part of it for a very long time. And when I look at Africa, I see very few people who can actually stand and say things like what he said, Professor Lumumba. Sometimes I wonder why, you know, he's not like the president of Kenya. But I realize that people like that, they cannot really be president. People like that, they are like, they're needed by Africa to stand and to speak. And once you become a president, then you need to focus on your government, on your country, and things like that. So we need him. Like Africa, we need him. If we have AU and we need a president of AU, he's supposed to be the one. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would suggest. If we have Africa Union and we need a president of Africa Union, Professor Lumumba is supposed to be a president of Africa Union. But anyways, there are things that we need to consider, and there are things that we can never ignore. And that is unity. It's one of the things that he spoke about again and again and again. And we have done here in Swahili Nation, in One Africa podcast, a lot of time talking about unity and how it is so important for Africa. And I want to rely and I want to point on one thing that he said. He said that Africa is so weak. We are very weak right now. Very weak. Very weak to our neighbors, very weak to the rest of the world, that we are disregarded and we are humiliated all the time. When you look at things, when you look at the projects are happening, when you look at the collaboration, when you look at the world, how it sees Africa, we're so humiliated and disregarded because we're very weak. And the weakness we have is not because of anything else but disunity. We are not united. We are not one. We are not cooperating with one another. We do not have the spirit of Pan-Africanism. We don't have that in us. We don't want it to happen. We want to achieve things on our own. We want to walk by ourselves. We don't care about our people. The only thing we care is about my stomach. It's about my family. But I don't care about the family of others. For leaders, the responsibility and that we have been given, the duty, our own duty that we have to do, we have to serve our people, we take it as a promotion. When someone becomes a leader of a country, it's like a promotion for them to earn what they never earned in their lives, to fulfill their dreams and their purpose, but not the dream of the country, not the purpose of the country, not to save your own people, but to save myself. Therefore, we are very weak. Africa is bigger than just one person. Africa is bigger than just leaders. It's bigger than just one country. It's a community. And all the time in Africa, we live as a community. We live as one. We serve one another. We protect one another. We hold our hands together. And there's so many things that he pointed out, as he didn't just talk about the weakness. He didn't just talk about things that are not doing wrong, things that we are doing wrong. But in all of his speech, he always comes with the solution that we can do this. We can have a single currency. We can have a single passport. We can have a single system that will help us. Yes, each country, they can have their own regulation, their own things, but we can have that unity. That me today, if I decided to visit Ethiopia, I'm going to use my shilling. Or we can have a common currency in Africa. We can have a single army, because we're spending a lot of money in each country having their own army that they don't do anything. There's no need of having that. If we're united, we can have one strong Africa Union army that will protect all the borders of Africa, will protect the dignity of Africa. We can do that. And it is possible to do that, rather than all the money that we spend in the army and we don't have anything to protect from. Some other countries I know, and I can say that they need to have something like that. But when we come together and we join our hands together, then we can easily protect every single enemy out there. This is the word, man, and not everybody is a saint. There are people who are constantly looking for opportunity, constantly looking for taking advantage for Africa. You know what I'm saying? Because for so many years, for so long time, people have been taking advantage of Africa. And maybe, perhaps, it's because of we have opened the door. Perhaps we have shown them the way, that this is the way for you to take advantage of us. But we have an opportunity to close that door. We have an opportunity to close that door. And that opportunity is unity. Guys, this is not just a cliche. This is not just something that we just speak without thinking, without knowing. No, man. The problem is we don't have unity. He spoke about G20. He spoke about why there's no African country in G20. Okay, maybe African country is too much, but why we don't have Africa Union in G20? Why we don't have representative in that G20? So when the leaders of this world sitting down and making decisions about climates, about all this stuff, we're not in G20. Africa is not included. We are not included. How do they see us? Then we have to put value on ourselves. We have to put value on ourselves, because nobody else will put value on you if you do not put value on yourself. And us putting value on ourselves is saying that, you know what, we are one, and we are serious about this, and we are united, and we want this, and we want that. Nyerere said this, that unity is not going to make us rich, but it will make it difficult for Africa to be disregarded and humiliated. That's what J.K. Nyerere said. It will make it difficult, because if you're one, people that can disregard you, people that can humiliate you. But if we are united, it's going to make it difficult for the world, for the rest of the world, to disregard Africa and to humiliate Africa, because we seems and we look and we are united. We are determined. We are cooperating with one another. We know where we are going. We know what we want. We know our way. We know our values. So nobody is going to be able to shake us. And yesterday, I pointed out something that perhaps our leaders, perhaps people are scared of unity because it's going to close the doors of the black ways. It's going to close the door of the shortcuts that most of our leaders have been benefit from the leadership in Africa. Most of people in a higher positions in our governments have been benefit from the corruption that is happening in our countries, from disunity that is happening in our countries, or the contract or the projects that are coming from outside. There's a few people in our nations have been benefit from that. They've been benefit from that. Because if I am an investor from outside, from Western, let's say, or from Eastern, I just come to make a contract with the leader in that particular country. I give them money, and then I take a lot more just because I gave you money. I take a lot more from that country. And I'm asking myself, why, as a leader, you don't care about your people? When we have unity, what's going to do is every single person, yesterday Ezra mentioned that our leaders will be held accountable. Will be held accountable because every single decision you make for your country is not just for your country, but it's for the continent. And if you make something that is going to violate the rules, it's going to violate the dignity of African Union, you're going to be held accountable. And a lot of people, they don't want that. They want to continue to make decisions for their own countries and for themselves. That's what they want. They don't want to be held accountable. Let's say if I'm a president of the country, I can do whatever the heck I want. In Africa, it's only in Africa president they have so much power. And nobody can hold them accountable. Nobody can hold them accountable for whatever decision they make, whatever mistake they make. Nobody can hold them accountable. It's only in Africa. But when we have African Union, what's going to happen is even the president of the country will be held accountable because the top dog will be the leader of African Union, and we'll have a system in African Union that can hold all these leaders accountable. And so they have a place to report. Right now, nobody has a place to report. Everybody report to you. There's so much power to have. So much power to have. And a lot of lives are at risk. A lot of lives are at risk. Even when people are dying, nobody can hold you accountable. When people are dying with hunger, nobody can hold you accountable. Nobody. Nobody right now. Having a union, having a unity will help, will protect the dignity of our countries. And every single decision, every single collaboration that is happening within the country is not just going to happen from nowhere, because the unity we have will know that this something is happening. And if it is sketchy, we're going to stop it from happening, because we don't want, it's the time to stop people taking advantage of Africa. We are smart, we are brave, we know what we want, we know where we want to go, we know what we have to do, all right? We don't want anybody to tell us what to do. We don't want anybody to come with the eyes and with the hands of supporting us, but in reality, in fact, they're taking things away from us. We cannot allow that. And one way that we can do that is by accepting, by embracing the unity. Okay, we see things that are going on right now in Ethiopia. We see how much a lot of pressure from outside, from Eastern, from West, from everywhere is attacking that beautiful nation. What do we do, Africa? Africa Union, what do we do about it? What do we do? It's a time to stand together. It's a time to hold our hands together and to be, you know what? These are our brothers and these people are us. Ethiopia is Africa. Africa is Ethiopia. It's a time to stand and to prevent from happening. It's a time to hold our hands together, that if you're going to put sanction on Ethiopia, put sanction on my country, put sanction on the entire continent of Africa, put it. But you know what? Some people, some countries, they just stand as if there's nothing happening. That, oh, this is their fight. They wanted it. And everybody's backing down. We cannot do that. This is Africa. It is Africa. The Africa's future is at the stake right now. Africa's future is at the stake. What do we do about it? What are we going to do about it? Therefore, Professor Lumumba is talking about unity. And this is not the first time. Our forefathers, they spoke a lot about unity. Without unity, there is no future for Africa. And really say, are we choosing unity or are we choosing chaos? What are we choosing? Because there's no other option to bring peace in Africa but unity. There's no other option to bring love, peace, and comfort and safety in Africa but unity. See your brothers like yourself, to see your sister like yourself, to see another country like yourself. That's what we gotta do. And we have responsibility to do it. Whether you are in the leadership position, whether you are just a normal human being, whether you're just a YouTuber like what I'm doing right here, you have a voice to raise, because every voice matters. And this is the time to be united, not tomorrow, guys. We are weak when we are divided. And that's what they want. That's the Africa they want. That's the Africa they're planning for. Somebody asked yesterday, do you think Westerners and Easterners, they have vision for Africa? No, nobody can have vision for Africa but Africans. Nobody. But for so long time, we have been supporting and helping and helping other nations to grow, even without knowing, because we've been believing that we have been supported. No, in fact, guys, we've been supporting this world to survive. That's what we have been doing. I'm not saying we should stop doing that. No, we should continue to do that because that's what human being does. That's what we're supposed to do every single day. But we have to change our mind. We have to change our perspective that what are we losing with the vision we have in Africa? We are losing a lot. We're losing a lot. Not even things. I'm talking about people's life. And people that can just take advantage of you. This is the time to stop that. It's time to say, no, you're not going to take advantage of me. It's time to hold our hands together and show that, you know what, this is us. We love one another despite of our differences. What's going on with this fly right here? It's like somebody sent it. It's time to hold our hands together and to say, you know what? We know what we want for our countries. We know what we want for our nation. We know what we want for our continent. And nobody can shake us. You know what? Regardless of the differences we have, regardless of all the quarrels and the crises we have, we can still hold our hands together and work together and solve those issues. I was so happy yesterday. Yesterday we were having live stream here. There are people who came and they were complaining. There are people who came and they were just saying, why you're not talking about this? Why you're not rebuking this? Why you're not saying that? And during that moment, the moment of One Africa Forum, the live stream was a moment of healing. I still remember this one person, his name was Outer Space, something like that. At the end of that live stream, this guy, he was just happy. He just had a completely different view about what he was talking about before, because you're having conversation, because you're talking with one another. You know what? We might not be able to bring back the parents or family that you lost because of division that we have in Africa, but we can protect other families that are going to be lost because of the same issue, because of the same reason. We might not be able to comfort you from all the pain you went through because of the mistakes of our leaders have done in the past, but we can protect you forward. We can protect so many other families from getting the same effects that you had because of the same reason of division. We can protect. We can stop looking in the past and we can decide that, you know what, I lost my family, but I don't want to lose anymore. Okay, I lost my friend, but I don't want to lose anymore. I lost people I love, but I don't want anybody to have that feeling anymore. So I'm going to say stop to this conflict. I'm going to say stop to this mindset, and I want unity for my continent. That's the spirit we want. That's the spirit I desire. That's the Africa I want. What kind of Africa do you want? What kind of future do you want? What kind of future, what kind of Africa do you want your kids to live in? Well, Africa's future is at the stake right now, and this is the urgent call for unity. We cannot delay no longer. We spoke about this so many years that unity, but it never happened. It never happened. This is the time. It's not the time to talk, but it's the time to act. Let's show them how united we are. No matter the fact I don't even care about showing them. Let's be united for ourselves, for our families, for our future, for our beautiful continent, for our economy, for our relationships. Let's be united, guys. It's easy. It's easy. It's easy, man. It's easy. Man, somebody didn't come to me and say, Mika, speak about unity. Please speak about unity. No. Just look at what is happening in Africa. When I started doing reaction, when I started reading news, when I started seeing and looking and searching every single country history, I've realized that there's so many issues are happening every single day. And I ask myself why these things are happening. We're divided. We don't care for each other. It's good to have nationalism. It's good to be proud of your country, but if you don't care about others, it's useless. Even God said, you cannot love me you don't see. and hate your neighbor you see. It's ridiculous and it's hypocritical to love someone you don't see and to hate someone you see. It's hypocritical. You can't say you love God, you don't even see him, and you hate your neighbor, you see him every day, or you see them. It's hypocritical. We have to begin with our neighbors. If your neighbor is not at peace, you are not at peace. That's the mindset we should have. If your neighbor don't have food, you cannot have food. We have to go together. We have to have peace together. We have to love one another together. We have to walk together towards the same destination. Let me close this discussion by saying this. That love, peace, and unity for Africa, it is possible. It is possible. And without unity, there's no future for Africa. It never been. And we are where we are right now because we are divided. That's why we are where we are now. You might say that, you know what, we have been making progress. Yes, but it has been too slow because we don't have unity. Let's have unity and you'll see what will happen. Because the first thing to do is to protect our borders. That's the first thing to do. And we can only do that if we are united. It's useless if we, Tanzania, protect our borders and then our neighbor, Kenya, they're not protecting their borders. Our neighbor, maybe, whatever they're, South Africa, they don't protect their borders. But if we are one, we can have the single plan to protect our borders. That's the first thing we can do. Second, we can develop ourselves inside, cooperating with one another, investing in each other's country. That's what we can do. We can create all these means of transportation and infrastructure within the continent. For those countries that they don't have ports, we can share the ports that we have. We can make sure that we help, we support one another, we develop one another. That's what we can do. That's what we can do. All these artificial boundaries that they were made, that were invented by colonialists, it doesn't really matter, guys. It doesn't really matter. We can have a single currency. We can have a single passport. We can have a free movement from one country and another country. We can have that system. We can have that, man. We can decide the currency that we want for ourselves in Africa. Not somebody else outside of Africa deciding that. We can have that. It's possible to do that. We can do that if we are united. The first thing is to be united, and then other things we'll figure out along the way. We don't have to know everything how to do it. We have to be united first to save so many lives that are being lost and to save our continent from the enemies from the outside. This is Africa they don't tell you about. Enough with the negativity about our continent. Enough with the discrimination and humiliation of our continent. Unity will not bring us peace. Unity will not make us rich, but it will help and it will protect Africa from being humiliated and disregarded by powerful nations. Because once we're united, man, we'll be more powerful than ever. And we're no longer going to be weak, but we'll be a threat to the rest of the world. Unity is power and division is weakness. Guys, don't forget love one another and spread peace wherever you are. Swahili Nation, Swahili to the world. I love you. I love Africa. And I hope you do so.